Outline of The Rhythm of Us. 1. Introduction, The Sound of Distance, 700 words. Protagonist, Nora Palmer, a musician in her early 30s, struggling to rediscover her passion for composing after a series of personal failures. Setting, New Orleans, a city rich with music, where Nora moved 10 years ago to chase her dreams but now feels lost and disconnected from the world and her creativity. Motivation, Nora's inability to finish her latest composition symbolizes her deeper emotional struggle after a failed relationship with her ex-bandmate and lover, Marcus. Inciting incident, Nora receives an invitation to perform at a prestigious music festival in the city, a chance to prove herself again. However, Marcus will also be performing at the event, and their past threatens to derail her focus. 2. Meeting Aiden, a new tempo, 800 words. Introduction to Aiden. Aiden, a street musician and percussionist with a free-spirited approach to life, enters Nora's world when she hears him playing in a small jazz cafe. They strike up a conversation, and Nora is intrigued by his effortless creativity and the raw, unpolished energy of his music. Aiden plays music for the love of it, not for fame or recognition. Conflict. Nora is drawn to his energy, but she feels an internal conflict. Her logical, disciplined approach to music contrasts with Aiden's improvisational, carefree style. However, she can't deny the attraction she feels toward him. 3. Finding a new groove, bonding over music, 900 words. Aiden and Nora's friendship grows. They begin spending more time together, jamming, and composing music. Nora starts to see the world differently through Aiden's eyes. His philosophy on life teaches her to embrace the imperfections of music and love. Nora's personal struggle, her old habits die hard. She still finds herself obsessing over perfecting her composition, fearing the vulnerability of truly letting go. Meanwhile, her memories of Marcus loom over her, and she worries that falling for Aiden could end up in heartbreak, just like her past. Aiden's challenge. He invites her to join him in an impromptu performance at a local street festival, but Nora hesitates, afraid to let go of control and be spontaneous. 4. Marcus returns, the disruptive beat, 800 words. Tension builds. Marcus unexpectedly reaches out to Nora, reigniting old emotions and memories. He's confident, charming, and full of promises to rekindle their old magic. He suggests they perform together at the upcoming festival, which adds pressure to Nora's decision. Nora's dilemma. She feels torn between her past with Marcus, who represents everything she once wanted, and Aiden, who challenges her to embrace the unknown and live in the moment. Conflict. The weight of her unresolved feelings for Marcus, combined with her growing affection for Aiden, leaves Nora stuck in emotional limbo. 5. Breaking point. Finding her own rhythm, 900 words. Nora's emotional breakdown, the pressure of the upcoming festival and her unresolved feelings toward Marcus and Aiden finally overwhelm her. She has an argument with Aiden after he pushes her to abandon her perfectionist tendencies, accusing him of not understanding what's at stake for her career. Clarity through chaos. Nora spirals into self-doubt, but a solo moment of reflection while walking through the city, surrounded by the sounds of New Orleans, jazz, laughter, streetcars, brings her an epiphany. She realizes that her music, like her life, doesn't have to follow a strict structure. She needs to find a balance between control and spontaneity, passion and discipline, past and present. 6. The performance, synchronizing hearts, 1,000 words. Festival night. Nora decides to perform solo at the festival, choosing neither Marcus nor Aiden as her partner. She debuts a new piece she composed that blends classical precision with the freeform jazz style she learned from Aiden. The emotional climax. Midway through her performance, she spots Aiden in the crowd. In an impromptu moment of vulnerability, she invites him on stage to join her. They create something beautiful together, blending their rhythms into a shared harmony. Marcus watches from the sidelines, understanding that Nora has moved on, both from him and the life they once shared. 7. Conclusion, The Rhythm of Us, 600 words. After the festival, Nora and Aiden walk through the quiet streets of New Orleans, their connection deeper and more genuine. They talk about life, music, and the future. Resolution, Nora has found a new rhythm, not only in her music but also in her life. She no longer feels defined by her past mistakes or relationships. Instead, she understands that life, like music, is fluid and ever-changing. The story ends with the two of them sitting by the river, Aiden tapping out a gentle rhythm on his drum, and Nora humming along, completely in sync. Excerpt from the beginning. Chapter 1, The Sound of Distance. Nora Palmer pressed her fingers into the ivory keys of the grand piano, the low hum of an unfinished melody hanging in the air like a question that had no answer. Her hand hovered over the final chord, but the music stopped short, unfinished, just as it had for weeks. She leaned back on the wooden bench, closing her eyes and exhaling deeply. It wasn't just the notes that eluded her, it was the emotion behind them. The small, sunlit room was her sanctuary, filled with the relics of a once brilliant career. Framed posters from sold-out performances lined the walls, alongside a tangle of sheet music scattered across the floor. But now, her music felt empty, a hollow echo of the passion she once carried inside. Outside, the sounds of New Orleans seeped in through the open window, the clatter of streetcars, the distant chatter of tourists, and the ever-present pulse of jazz music that the city breathed like air. But even the rhythm of New Orleans, a place that had once inspired her every heartbeat, couldn't shake her out of this creative block. She glanced at her phone, the glowing notification pulling her attention from the silence. An email. Of course, she thought, assuming it was another routine inquiry from a student or a fan. But the sender's name made her heart skip a beat. Marcus Daniels. For a moment, Nora didn't move. It had been months, almost a year, since she'd last heard from him. The last time they spoke, it ended in a fight that split more than just their professional collaboration. She swiped open the message, half expecting it to be something simple, maybe even an apology. But what she found was an invitation. Where the wildflowers grow, a story about love, loss, self-discovery, and resilience in the face of change. I'll provide a detailed outline and the beginning of the story, and we can build it out from there. Synopsis. The story centers around Eliza, a young woman who returns to her small hometown of Willow Creek after years of living in the city. She comes back to care for her ailing grandmother, Margaret, who raised her after her parents' tragic death in a car accident when she was a child. The town of Willow Creek is a place Eliza once loved but also fled from, unable to cope with the memories that haunted her. Margaret's cottage is nestled